Hey everybody, this is Daniela Rabbani from the Mom Curious podcast. I wanted to give you a heads up. If you hear a third voice,
It's true.
did you hear it? Did you? It's Laura Lucetti, everybody, our executive producer. She's back.
In the flesh. Excuse me.
In the flesh. There she is, in the flesh.
Coughing in your ear.
Hacking up a lung. She's been busy mothering our Hoff Studios podcast.
Brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters. I hope you do check them out.
You're not an only child anymore.
I know. And you know what? I'm more than happy to share you.
You are, you are a great big sister. They all look up to you, and this show is a gem. So
I couldn't be prouder of all the work you're doing, and I'm so grateful that you're taking the time to hang out with us as you did all season 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's my favorite show.
It's
actually the only show I go on.
I
Fun
know.
fact.
I knew that. Did you guys know that? We do have a special guest, a third person, a third voice. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Michelle Currier, and I'm a mom. I have an amazing 2-year-old daughter, and I'm a ceramic artist in Manhattan, in the West Village, and also in East Hampton.
Thank you so much for coming on. I know that you are dear friends with Brian Hoff. Do you guys know Brian Hoff? Brian Hoff of Hoff Studios, friends. This is a big deal. This is a VIP we have.
He's
on
PAing
hand.
for me today. So
He's what? He's
PAing
PAing
for us today. So shout out to Brian. Thank you for PAing.
I
He's
wish you guys
getting lunch right now.
I really wish you guys could see his outfit. It's like this blue, bright blue button down with like painted on flowers. He is killing it.
He's keeping it psychedelic, you know?
He's keeping it psychedelic. He's keeping it real. And he brought you to us. I'm so grateful.
I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me. It's such a great podcast, so I'm really excited to be here.
Your ceramics are really beautiful.
Thank you.
And how long have you been at it as an artist?
So it's a really funny story, actually. I was applying for a job teaching art, and it said it was for ceramics. I had never worked with clay before, but I applied for the job, and I figured, I'll just figure it out.
Wow.
And so I got the job. So I did a crash course on ceramics, and as soon as I started, I was like, how has this been missing from my life for so long? I love it. It's just become so important in my life. And since then, I've been so focused on it and just fell in love with ceramics. And then, so I've been doing it about 20 years.
Wow.
And I've had my business for about 8 or 9 years.
Amazing. I always think of Ghost.
Yeah.
Anyone with me? It's just, I'm the only one who's ever said that about a ceramics artist.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an original thought, as we all know. But like, it looks so sensual. It looks so fun.
It is. It's very meditative, actually, and relaxing. Once you get in with it, I always tell my students, become one with the clay, because you really can't think about other things or focus on anything else. It really takes you out of your world, and you're just so focused on your clay and your piece.
Wow.
It's really nice.
It seems really beautiful and romantic.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. For me, I feel like when you're in your life's calling, right, all that noise sort of fades. It's so interesting. When I'm here, doing my work on this show, I really don't think about my children. I think about them after the interview's over. I'm like, oh, maybe I should check in, maybe not. But like that mind chatter, like, are they okay, etc. Where if I was at the grocery store, I'd be looking at my phone. I don't have that when I'm really doing the thing I'm meant to do.
I feel the same. I'm thinking about her, but I'm so focused on my work that it really just becomes your only thing for that moment.
Yeah.
And it's nice, especially in this world we're living in now, to have something that can just take you out of the world and feel so meditative, even just for an hour.
Yeah, totally. How has being a mother changed your approach to your art and your business, if it has at all?
Definitely. That's funny you say that because after having my daughter, I did a series of huge vases, and they all are different sizes, and they're all look like pregnant women.
Oh, wow.
I haven't finished them yet, but they're huge pieces, and um, I haven't glazed them yet, so they're made, and there's a series of about 9 pieces, and they're all pregnant women.
Did you not even notice that you were doing it while
Not
it
at
was?
first,
Oh
no.
my God.
And then I was like, oh my God, it was so apparent that that's what it was.
I love the subconscious so much.
Yes.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it really was. And then I mean, I loved being pregnant, and it was such an important time period in my life, and it definitely came out in my artwork.
Yeah. How beautiful. What are
Yeah.
some of the pieces you make?
So
Vases.
I
Pregnant
really like,
women vases.
yeah, pregnant. That's something new, actually, that came out of nowhere. But mostly, I really enjoy making functional work. I like knowing that my pieces are being used. There are so many times I've made a piece for someone, and then they stick it on a shelf and they don't use it. And I'm like, why are you doing that? They're for you to use every day.
Yeah.
I know my dad has a few pieces and he puts them on shelves. I'm like, why are you not using those mugs? And he's
he
like,
thinks of them as art.
I don't want to break them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'll make you more if they break. Don't worry about it. But you know, a lot of people will do that. But I want them to be used. They should be used for everything: food, gatherings, just your morning coffee. The vases, I'm really excited about once those are ready.
They sound really beautiful.
Thanks.
What an amazing gift you have in like making visual art that's also functional. I mean, it's to make like the everyday beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel about it. I mean, I used to paint, and I could hang the piece on the wall and I could look at it every day, but it's not like having it in your hands and actually using it and serving people food in your pieces. It brings it to a whole different level, I think.
Do you eat off of your own like ceramic work?
Yeah, so every piece I think in my house is all my own. Yeah.
So cool.
Most of them are like the leftover pieces.
Has your daughter played with clay? Well, I mean, she's definitely going to play with Play-Doh, but has she played with your sort of like...
No clay yet, but we do a lot of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
I'm always up for Play-Doh. You want to play with Play-Doh? Yeah,
Play-Dohs,
let's do it.
Are your Play-Dohs like really legit?
Yes, actually.
Do you have all those
like Mommy's so good at Play-Doh, don't you think?
God. That's hilarious. Guys, I wish you could see her blushing and like thinking about how beautiful her Play-Doh is. Like
it's really fun. We have a lot of fun, my daughter and I have a lot of fun with the Play-Doh.
Oh, with the Play-Doh. Tell us how about your journey to what's her name, by the way?
Perry.
Can you tell us your journey to get Perry Earthside?
Sure. So when I first moved to Manhattan, I found an apartment on Perry Street, and I didn't even know anything about Perry Street. It's one of the most beautiful streets in the city, I think. And I just fell in love with the city and the independence and the freedom and the love, and just Perry Street has always had this amazing part of my life of growing up, really, and becoming who I was always meant to be, I think. So when I had my daughter, I was like, I'm naming her Perry.
I love it.
But it was not an easy go. I didn't just decide, oh, let's have a baby and all good. You know, I had a lot of people don't know, actually, but I did have a bunch of miscarriages very early on. But still, I mean, no one knew because it wasn't really something you talk about.
Yeah.
And then when I did get pregnant, it was scary because is this going to end in miscarriage as well? I wasn't really open to telling anybody. I know everybody tells you, oh, at 3 months you can tell everybody. So, but at 3 months, I was like, I'm not saying anything. I still don't know.
And you weren't showing them, like you may
Right.
have looked bloated or something, but I also didn't say anything. I had one miscarriage. I'm sorry to hear that you had said several. That's really hard. And I also
was
felt
hard.
very paranoid.
Yes.
So much so that I auditioned for a role in a movie when I was 8 weeks pregnant. They didn't shoot until I was 8 months pregnant, and I just wouldn't tell anyone anything at all. I just
Yeah.
didn't even know if I just didn't know if it was going to stick. That's what I told my manager, and he totally understood. And I ended up shooting it, but in those first months of your first pregnancy, you're not showing. So
Right.
and you have
And you
every
can
right
wear
to keep it to
certain
yourself if you want.
clothing that can hide that, I think, too.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't telling anybody. But I think the anxiety had built up after so many miscarriages that it just was even harder to tell anyone. So really, the only people who knew was my husband, of course, my best friend, and my sister.
Wow.
And that's it.
Wow. For how long?
Close to 5 months.
Wow.
I know that sounds crazy.
I don't think
But
that sounds crazy.
my best friend, we would hang out, we would go out. She was like, why don't you practice trying, telling people, random people, just tell the waiter, tell the person at the checkout, tell these. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's try that. So I would try and I would still freeze up and still couldn't do it. And so then she would tell the waiter or the person checking us out at the grocery store. And
Wow.
I was like, okay, so she really helped me kind of get comfortable with the idea of telling people. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a lonely journey because I wasn't able to really talk to people about it that much. I just felt it would probably make other people very uncomfortable to know about all these miscarriages. And then when I did get pregnant and I had too much anxiety to tell people, it was just too scary to say the words almost. And then it happened to be COVID, so I could not have a baby shower when I finally did tell people. And my husband couldn't come to any appointments.
Wow.
He had to come alone.
No, I really appreciate you saying that. And I appreciate that it's enhanced your art. I feel like being a mother, oh my God, you guys, this fall I'm going to be doing a play, and I workshopped it this summer, and they brought me a new song that had to do with being a mother, and I realized, like, wow, I have really matured into this role. And when I tell you, it hit me so deep to sing about this child. It's something I could have never acted before. I think, like, of course you see these, like, actresses playing young mothers all the time, and they're doing a good job, I'm sure, but wow, to actually know what it is to care for someone that deeply and to sing that song was so profound. I could have never faked it before. Do you know what I mean?
I believe it. Sure.
I
mean, you have to experience it all to really be able to play that character.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like a tremendous gratitude to my children for connecting me to a lot of myself, like the good and the bad, but also just like I feel like in my art. And look, this is a piece of art, our conversation, right?
It's great.
They're such inspiration for us.
Absolutely.
Do you find that Perry has inspired you in some ways that you didn't expect?
I think she takes up a lot of my time. So she's definitely inspired me in life in general, of course. But if you mean in my art,
both.
I have done a lot of also forms, I think, with my pottery. I know what you're
Wow.
thinking. That are very open forms. And I think that is something. I mean, she's just herself, right? She's 2.5 years old almost. So she's just who she is. And there's no hiding who she is.
Yeah.
So I think these open forms that I've been working on lately, I'm not sure, but may have something to do with that.
Wow.
Because how can it not inspire you and really affect your art and everything you're doing in life? So
How
I
do you make
definitely see how it's affecting my art.
you're right on track. Like
Yeah.
just in case anyone's wondering,
Thank
like
you.
there's like no, there's like literally zero shame in this game. Like it's like this is exactly how we're all cobbling it together. Because I think there's like a sense that, oh my God, their little hands, their little
Yeah.
voices, like it's just like so precious and like it's not forever. It's just not, and we know
Right.
that.
Right.
You know, like we've lived long enough. I actually, it was easier for me to understand that with my second, because I had seen how my son just like overnight was 2.5, and like,
Right.
and then he was 5, and then he was
No.
6. It's no, but you know, it's like it's hard to say no to opportunities. It's really very hard, and it's like a little scary because you're like, what if I'm
Sure.
not?
Will this opportunity
Well,
come
yeah,
around
I've worked my
again?
whole life to be an
Right.
artist, which, by the way, guys, is really hard. It's like
Yeah.
really, really hard on a skill level, on a like opportunity level, financially, it's all hard. So to have like really like climbed the ranks, but I don't know. My kids are like 6 and 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do an off-Broadway show. I have a podcast. Like it all
Right.
Dee,
didn't go away.
tell us a little bit about the play. You haven't yet, and I think this would probably
Oh.
be a nice time
Oh.
when this episode is going to roll out.
Sure.
Yeah.
For the past 10 years, I've been doing a concert called Ghetto Tango. I did not write it or direct it. I just act and sing in it. And it's a concert that was developed by two people, Zaman Mlotek and Adrian Cooper, both of whom found Holocaust material, so songs that were written and performed in the Holocaust. The music is amazing. It's like inspired. It's in Yiddish, which is the lingua franca of the time. That's what Jewish people spoke then. But the music itself is there's a bit of klezmer, jazz, tango, Broadway. I mean, like it's like musically so beautiful, and the poetry is gorgeous, and it's just like a real reminder of these people's humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them didn't make it, and their songs did. That's the power of art. And so I get to sing about it. I mean, this last round of workshops, they're calling it Amid Falling Walls, because that's a lyric in one of the songs. We are a people amid falling walls, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I was asking my husband actually, like, how am I gonna make it work? Like 7 shows a week, like people like counting on me.
When does it start,
Right.
and where can we get tickets?
Oh, sorry. It starts in November. It's at the Volksbühne National Yiddish Theater. And you can go to folksbiene.org, folksbiene.org, and get tickets there. And, well, I was asking Dan, my husband, like, how am I going to make it work? What else? And he's just looked at me in the eyes, and he was just like, this is your life's work. You're going to make it work because this is your life's work. You're going to make it work because this is important to you. And so I am. And Paz is starting pre-K, and we'll get a babysitter. Actually, Laura wanted to discuss a little bit of childcare, actually, when it comes to the freelance life. And for me, like, a nanny never really panned out. it didn't really work because I'm there all the time. Daycare worked a little bit. Sometimes it felt like a little too much coverage, but we're going to do a babysitter now. So with our 2 minutes remaining, where can we find your work and maybe purchase some of those pregnant lady vases?
So the pregnant lady vases,
TM.
they're in process. You can see them on my Instagram, though. I think you'll know right away when you see them which ones they are. There's a series of about 8 of them, and so they are on my Instagram, and that's Michelle Currier Ceramics. And I have my website where I do have work up, and I will have a bunch of pieces coming in September.
Beautiful.
Mid-September. And that's michellecurrier.com.
So guys, if you want to support an artist mama, you know where to go. And I actually do really hope to see you at my show. And thank you, Laura Lucetti, for being with us today. Did we not miss her, friends?
Happy to be here.
I mean, no pressure, but did we not miss her? Okay, have a great day. See you next week. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Mom Curious podcast. My name is Daniela Rabbani. I am your host, and I would love to continue this conversation at Daniela Rabbani on Instagram. And if you'd be so kind to rate and review, share this podcast, I would be just really grateful. Catch you next time, every Tuesday on the Mom Curious podcast. Produced by Hoff Studios. You can find them at Hoff Studios on Instagram as well. All right, have a great day.